Presently, there are only 2 municipalities in Orange County, the town of Goshen and the city of Newburgh, that are reassessing. We do hope that in the near future that number will increase, but again, it speaks to the commitment and not just to doing the right thing, but also to the people of the town that the town board has in trying to ensure to the most reasonable degree possible that property taxes are equitably distributed. So again, I want to commend them for doing that.
So does anyone else have any other questions?
I just was curious at how you felt anticipated the use of the software would change your grievance process as a tool for people's grievances or and how their properties were assessed.
Well, the tools, as John said, the tools are there on the Orange County website, and hopefully, I think after this revaluation, people will take advantage of what's out there for them to look at and compare their homes to when they go to grievance. They, can put their package together. And obviously, grievance days or the month of May, as you know, is grievance time, and people have those 3-4 weeks to put their packages together, but they'll be the same form. Nothing is going to change that way. There will be certain things that can change for the review board, not for the public, but for the review board. I mean, I bought a very large screen, and instead of pulling out the property record cards, hundreds of them out, they'll be able to just bring up RPS, and the photo will be there, all the information will be there for them. So as it'll benefit you, the taxpayer, it will also benefit the board who has to make a final decision on your grievance.
So you're saying that by the use of the software, by the use of updating more often, you would anticipate having a smaller grievance, or a smaller number of grievance issues.
I believe so, yes.
And you also feel that you would be better armed at
defending our values and anticipating the small claims or our tertiary values, because we'll have all new values for everything for this year and maintain it every year.
In Orange County, we used to average somewhere around 300 to 400 grievances and maybe 200 small claim cases. In the last couple of years, that number has grown up to about 3,000 this past year. Based on the fact there are a number of outside firms coming into the county doing mass mailing, saying, are you overassessed? We can turn around, sign this form, we will challenge your assessment for you, and our fee would be 1/2 what we save in taxes for you. The average taxpayer can go into a local assessor and probably get maybe close to the same result by sitting down and talking to the assessor. But by doing a reval in a particular town, and if everybody on a level playing field, there's no opportunities for this type of company to come in and start challenging all the assessors. So this is another reason why a reval is a good idea at this point to do.
I mean, one of the things that John just mentioned that we will be hitting at the next big public information meeting with that full disclosure is just exactly what he said. You're going to get a new notice. The first thing is the informal process. Okay, that's what Joanne was talking about. You set up an appointment, come in and meet with her staff, other support people there. I'm not sure who that'll all be, but that's free. And you got grievance day. That's free. As a residential property, or you can go to small claims. I believe it's $30. Is that correct right now? And if the officer reduces your assessment $1, you get that back. I mean, I saw people go out and spend $800 on an appraisal when their full disclosure tax bill was showing $312 increase. I said to the guy, "Why did you do that?" "Well, I was just grieved about it." I said, "Why did you come in and talk to one of us? Give us an opportunity to, we're not all infallible, okay? But I mean, people go ahead and do this. And then the other good part about it was, I did a hearing in the town of Webster, and the guy's wife came into the informal, and he came in, and he was waiting for his wife. And he said, when she gets here, you'll see how ridiculous your value is. And I said, okay. She's bringing an appraisal from a professional appraiser. I said, well, that's good. And she finally showed up. She handed it to me. I opened the appraisal up, and I said, I agree 100% with him. In fact, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to agree 100% with his value. Great. See, I told you. I said, unfortunately, he's appraised at $75,000 higher than we did. He turned and screams at his wife, didn't you tell him what we wanted this for? Less than the assessment. But I mean, these are the things that assessors and John and Steve and all of us that have worked all over. I mean, we see these things. Every project has one unique situation. Like I said, it's a learning experience. I'm going to be 69 in March. Every new project I go out and work on, there's always a new twist. People have got no excuses now. I mean, obviously, this economy, the foreclosures, and all the rest that's happening around here. One of the things that John mentioned earlier that I'll just bring up very quickly. Think about 9/11. We were doing the reassessment. We had working on the reassessment for Marlboro. How do you appraise properties that before 9/11 would have been $225,000, and 60 days later, people are begging to buy them for $450,000? I mean, that was a very unique situation. But, you go and look at the sales. If you did not know that there was 9/11, and you just went to a computer database and looked at the town of Marlboro, said the average selling price in 2000 was $212,000. 7 months later, the average selling price is $419,000 to $425,000. Man, it must be a good place to go live. What happened there? I mean, these are the things that we deal with in doing assessment work across the country, and more specifically for myself now in New York State. I don't travel outside New York. But very interesting stuff, it really is. Thank you.
Well, does anyone else have any other questions they'd like answered? Yes.
I do. Because of the economy and how bad it's been in the past, people are really having trouble keeping up their homes. And what about blighted properties that have been totally disregarded or just forgotten about, and properties that are used for illegal uses, such as, say an illegal junkyard that you happen to have down the road from your house? And does that have any bearing on what your assessment is going to be? Because nobody wants to buy your house when you've got, crap next door.
Well, first of all, in the town of Goshen, we really don't have that kind of situation. I don't mean to say that. I know that there's a place out on the Black Dirt where there's somebody's kind of using their property as a storage area, and I know that the town building inspector has been on that case. I mean, if you have somebody in your neighborhood who's doing that, I would suggest that you let the town know so that they can take action. But mostly in the town of Goshen, you don't see that kind of thing, where the property is blighted. I mean, our values are reasonable values here, substantial values, that people aren't going to let their houses go, to become a junkyard. And like I said, I know that the town is certainly, anybody that's come in to complain about some illegal action on their property, on neighbor's property, that the town addresses it. Does that answer your question?
I live on Jessup Switch Road, and Country Bridge, right? It is, very sad that and I hope that, I will definitely check out the Orange County, situation there online and see what everybody else's properties are worth, because I'd love to know, what this person's property is worth and how it's gonna affect,